Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Tweedy back in our video. Today is a news video. So, as many of y'all know, we have a big event to close out MK11, which is going to be EVO 2023. But as y'all know, a lot of the top players, they're not going. And, yeah, they just don't really feel like it's worth it to travel at this point with no Pro Tour, stuff like that. And we're actually getting a big online event as well to close it out. So, Team Panther, if y'all know, they run huge events for MK, put a lot of money into the scene. They even flew out Foxy Grandpa to EVO last year, stuff like that. So they're throwing a $5,000 12v12 NA versus EU ultimate team battle. And it's going to suck because it's going to be high paying stuff like that because it's online, but it is what it is. We take what we can get at this point. All these players aren't able to attend EVO, so, let's just, get it any way we can get it, So let's check out these lineups. So first of all, the date is July 29th. The time is 3 p.m. Eastern. It is winners take all 12v12. So each participant gets $420, I think, 420, light them up, blaze it. You know what I'm saying? If they win. So let's check out these lineups. Also, we got Saito and Destroyer commentating, so that's gonna be freaking hype. So let's check this out. So the final showdown we got Team EU. It's EU/CIS, which I'm not really sure what CIS means. Isn't that Russia and countries around it, something like that? But anyways, we got EU/CIS versus North America. So let's go down the lineups, y'all. Let's go down EU. Oh, first disclaimer first. I'm sure y'all don't see Ninja Killa here. Ninja Killa was actually down to play, but from what I understand, his dad and his birthday both fall on the same day, and it's that day. You know what I mean? So they're doing a big family thing that day. He's not able to play at 3 p.m., so unfortunate, but it is what it is. We got to move on. So on the EU side, let's break down the matches. Well, these aren't the matches. So we're gonna secretly pick lineups, right? So say we secretly pick me first, Fuel Punk second, Scar third. If they go Uvility first, Javier second, Kenny, then those are the matchups. That's how the matchups will work. It's not actually going to be left to right like this. It's going to be secret lineups, and then it's not winner stays on. It's not winner stays on. So if you win, you eliminate that person, and then you move on, and then the next matchup happens. So say the first matchup is Fuel Punk versus Kanimani, and Kanimani wins. Kanimani doesn't then go on to face the second player on NA. It's a whole new matchup. But once we get back around, if there's people in NA left, then Kanimani will get to play again. You know what I mean? It basically goes until last man standing, and everyone has to play. You know what I mean? Everyone has to play because it's not winner stays on, which I believe is the best format for this type of deal. Now, VGY isn't playing, but his brother Josh is, and Josh has been way more active on MK11 this last year, so it makes more sense. I don't know why VGY is not playing, but yeah, Josh has been a lot more active, so it makes sense. So let's go down the lineup. So we got Kanimani. And I don't like Kanimani. He calls me fat, stuff like that. He's mean to me. So I have no reason to be saying this, but he might be the best player in the world right now. And I know you guys are going to be like, whoa, what about Rewind, Ninja Killa, the Chileans? I'm telling you right now, if you watch Rips Arena on a regular basis, I think he might be the best player in the world right now. And he's going to EVO, which is extremely hype. He's going to EVO too. He might just flat out be the best player in the world. He's very he's very similar to Rewind and some other players where he can just play a ton of characters. He specializes in Jackie, but his Fujin and his Sub-Zero, they're as good as anyone else's, you know what I mean? So yeah, Kanimani, he's definitely the biggest threat on their team for sure. And then we got Javier, who is, most people would consider, obviously during MK11's lifespan, you had Averick and AJ74U, stuff like that. But I think these days, Javier is the best Scorpion, right? In these final MK11 months, I feel like most people would agree Javier is one of the best Scorpions. So then they got Uvility, who's a great Jackie player. He's constantly placing top 5, top 4 over there in Rips Arena, which is not easy at all. And then we got Mirko, who was the premier EU Scorpion for a long time, but Javier's kind of taken that mantle. But Mirko, he beats Javier sometimes. He beats some of these other players sometimes. So he's still just as good, just as dangerous. And then we got Takinada. Now, I kind of want to talk about Takinada and Desarted at once. So they're not twins, they're brothers. They're brothers. I don't know if they're from Russia or they're CIS. I don't know if they're Russia or one of the other countries. but they're like two of the best players in the world. I think Desarted could actually be the best player on like any given day. I wouldn't like bet on him to beat like Kanimani or like Ninja, their Chileans or something like that, but he's good enough, you know what I mean? To where like he could win, you know? He's one of the best. So like if I had to rank like the threat level, I would say the top two are Connie and Desarted. Like they're insane. But all these other players are great too. But yeah, Takinada, he's almost as good as Desarted. It's like Unjust and Kukui, you know what I mean? Like Unjust is better than Kukui, like most of the time. But Kukui's good enough to where like he could be anyone too, you know? Same kind of deal with Takinada and Desarted. And they play Sub-Zero, and it's really high ping, so, you know. And they're good in low ping, too, so they're just insane, you know. So we're going to move on. We got Josh CQ. So Josh is actually the brother of VGY. I would say he's definitely the best Aaron Black player now. He's got a very good Johnny, too, stuff like that. He's just a very solid player. Really patient, stuff like that. And, yeah, it makes sense that they would have him on the team instead of VGY. I don't think VGY has been very active. And then Makaran is easily the best Scarlet. It's not even close. Like, the second best Scarlet, but, like, Makaran and then the second best Scarlet, it's like a Grand Canyon size gap. You know what I mean? And that's not to say they're bad. It's just he's so good. You know what I mean? And I think he's also going to EVO. I think he's also going to EVO as well. So then you have 62 Cent. I don't know who that is. And I don't say that to be, like, disrespectful, stuff like that. I'm sure they're great. So if they beat me in this, don't be like, now you know who 62 Cent is. I'm sure they're great. I just don't know who they are. I'm sorry. And then we got Foxy, you know, what else needs to be said about Foxy? One of the goats of the scene. He's still one of the best, like at any given time, any given year in the NRS scene, you know, nothing really needs to be said about Foxy, to be honest. And then we got Rensler, who's a very good Cabal. And I think he plays like Noob as well. Very good Cabal. I actually played him in the last team battle. He's very good Cabal. And then we got Aladar FGC. Is that how you say his name? I believe he's like a very good Kano. I believe he plays with like Tekken Master and some other people. I believe he's like a very high level Kano. So yeah, so that's the EU team, y'all. And then over here on NA, we got Fuel Punk. Very good Cabal, very strong Cabal. Hasn't really made it out to offlines to get like big results. He really leveled up a lot over COVID. But yeah, very good Cabal. He could beat anyone on their team, you know. Cabal in really high ping, you know, it could happen, you know. And then we got Unjust. Unjust is like, he's one of the best MK11 players ever, but it's weird because he started coming on strong in year 2 after offlines were done. And then he won so many online events. And then like the 2 or 3 times he's gotten to go offline post-COVID, he hasn't performed up to what we know his potential is. So like he's not going to be remembered as one of the GOATs of MK11. But he really is. Like, if you break down, like, amount of prize money won, like, amount of top players beat, he's really one of the GOATs of MK11. It's just, like, you know, a lot of people won't see it that way, you know, but it's just true, like, skill level-wise. So, Unjust, a great player to have on the team. And then we have Big Daddy G, who is definitely one of the best Sonyas still. He got second at CEO. He got, trying to think of like stuff Big Daddy G's done. So he did pretty good in like Pro Comp when they did online Pro Comp. He's done good in some online tournaments. He's definitely a great player. He's one that probably held back by his character a little bit, you know, being a solo main Sonya. It's a little tough these days, you know, but he's a great player. Definitely a good addition to the team. In the last team battle, he actually almost beat Takinada, who I would rank as their like 3rd or 4th best player. See, if I had to rank their players by like threat level, I would say like Kanimani, then Desarted, then Takinada. Or no, then Desarted, then Foxy, then Takinada, and then like Javier, Makaran, Mirko. But that's not to say any of these players are bad. And I've never even played Aladar. So I don't know. So like, if 62 Cent beats me, don't be like, see Tweedy, 62 Cent, because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they're great. But anyway, so Scar, I feel like there's a very select few players who could break through and beat like the Chileans and Ninja Kill and stuff. And I think Scar is in that very small group. Now, I'm not saying he's like favored to beat them. But I think out of the very small group of players who could break through and like beat the Chileans, beat Kanimani, beat Rewind, I think Scar's in that very small group. And yeah, so it's great to have him on the team. He's definitely one of our top 2 or 3 players on the team, maybe our best player on the team. And yeah, y'all, I'm really excited to have Scar. And then we got Turkey, who Turkey is another player who came along strong during COVID. Arguably the best Kotal Khan. No, um, it depends on how you define who the best is. Because you could say like Rewind, but Rewind like doesn't pick Kotal all the time. You know what I mean? Out of the people that pick Kotal all the time, I feel like Turkey has one of the strongest cases for being the best Kotals. And he's just so solid. He's a really solid Kotal. He doesn't take as much risks as other Kotals, like Pop-Tart and stuff like that, who's another guy who is in that discussion. So yeah, happy to have him on the team. Hopefully he can mix up Connie Mani and Desarted for us with that command grab. And then we got Kombat. Kombat's kind of a question mark because I don't think he's really been playing MK11 much. And he's been streaming more, but I don't think he always streams when he plays. So I don't know if he's been getting MK11 in. Hopefully he has, though, because this is going to be so sweaty. Like, if he just comes in, like, having not played in months, he's going to get ran over by anyone on this team. You know what I mean? But if Kombat gets back to where he was, the Kombat that we used to know, especially since there's not a lot of high-level Johnny these days, he could be, like, a real force on our team against these players. He could be a real force. So then we got Full Auto. Full Auto has actually beaten everyone on their team at tournament, I believe. Connie, Desarted, and he's the best Sindel, and he's really good in high ping. So I would argue Full Auto is one of our top 2 or 3 best assets on this team. And you got Rewind, you got Scar, you got Unjust, you got Kombat if he's been practicing, you got Gambler, you got me, El Kukui, all these players. But Full Auto, man, like Full Auto is a monster. Like, and the higher the ping gets, the scarier he gets. You know what I mean? So Full Auto is one of our like best assets on this team, in my opinion. Now next we got former Evo champ, former Evo runner-up, one of the goats of the scene, Rewind. I'm really glad we were able to get him. I actually reached out to him personally. I was like, if they're putting up 5K, we gotta try to get whoever we can get. And he said yes immediately, thankfully. And shouts to him for saying yes. And yeah, it's going to be great to have Rewind on the team. I don't know what kind of experience Rewind has playing against these like upper echelon, like 200 ping plus players. But I mean, it is Rewind, so I'm not going to count him out. I hope that, I hope we can get this dub, Hope we can get this W. And then we got King Gambler. King Gambler is probably the most experienced in this type of setting. Like these like 200 ping like tournament matches. He's been playing in Rips Arena, playing in all types of stuff like that. And yeah, Gambler's a great asset to have on the team. Amazing Sub-Zero, top 8 at EVO last year, like y'all already know. The YouTube comments on my channel actually hate how much I talk good about Gambler, but he's a great player, great friend, stuff like that. And then we move on to me. I'm gonna try my best. I don't want to let the team down. I've been kind of like washed and kind of lost on MK11, but I'm not trying to let the team down. So like these next like 12 days, whatever, I'm gonna try to put my best foot forward. I'm going to show up and do work. Let's go. I'm going to show up and do work. Let's go. Let's go, 62 Cent. I'm calling you out. Let's go. No, no, just kidding. But yeah, I'm going to try my best. And then we got Hijinks, Pro-Conf Finale Grand Finalist, won a bunch of online tournaments, one of the best players in NA. Hijinks is kind of like, sometimes when you see Hijinks, he kind of gets mobbed. But when Hijinks is on point, he's like one of the best players in the world. So hopefully on that day, he's on point. And I could definitely see him doing work for us, for the NA team. And then we got El Kukui, the brother of Unjust. Now, what's funny about El Kukui is he's typically seen as, not as good as Unjust, like the lesser of the two brothers. But the couple times they've gotten to go offline since COVID, Kukui's outperformed Unjust. So, like, and that's not to say Kukui's, like, better than him or anything like that. It's just, he's good enough. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same deal with Desarted and Takinada. Like, most people would say Desarted's better. But Takinada's good enough to where, like, if a bracket run goes right, he'll outplace his brother. You know what I mean? Or beat his brother. Same type of deal with El Kukui. I'm really happy he's on the team. And you'll notice it's a 12v12. So it was actually a 10v10. But, like, Panther was, like, auto-inviting some people. And it's not that, like, we didn't want him on the team. But it was just, like, we felt like we should be able to form our team. You know what I mean? So instead of, like, kicking people off, Panther just extended it. And the players we got off of that extension were Rewind and El Kukui. And we tried to get Ninja, but he wasn't able to play. So here we go. We got 5K on the line, 12v12, 12 of the best players in the world in Mortal Kombat 11. Not the 12 best. We weren't able to get Ninja. It doesn't include South America, so we weren't able to get the Chileans, you know. But this is an insane event, giant event to close out MK11. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing in it. I'm looking forward to watching all the other matches, getting hyped for my teammates, getting sad for my teammates. It's going to be exciting. It will be taking place July 29th, 3 p.m. Eastern on the Team Panther 90 Twitch channel. And I'll also be streaming my run. Gambler will be streaming his run, all that. So see y'all then. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be hype. All right, peace out, y'all.